Oh, I really don't know why I decided to do this. I really don't know. I hope this is like picking up the audio alright. Because it's 1:30 in the morning. I've been out tiny bit intoxicated, and I just got a creative spur, like a little creative tingle in my body, and it's a video I've been like talking about doing for a little bit, and I can ramble a bit more on this because I finally got the account verified. Celebration time. I'll find some celebration music, but I want to talk to you lot about something today, alright? And that something is that Assassin's Creed Origins copied Game of Thrones. Oh, fuck's sake. I don't know how I'm gonna get away with this. To begin, what's the one main thing that Assassin's Creed Origins and Game of Thrones have in common? Have you guessed it? If you've guessed, they both have swords. You're right. As we all know, in Assassin's Creed lore, before man and what they have built, there was the Isu, I think. Just dropping down some hard Assassin's Creed lore that I don't even fully know myself. I just know snippets of. What were essentially a great... They were a great civilization. They had grand technology. They made the weird apple things and the totems that you see around in the Assassin's Creed franchise. But we all know, right, that before Assassin's Creed, there was Game of Thrones. And people may say, wait, but the first game came out before the TV show, and it's you're meant to be talking about Assassin's Creed Origins, alright? Well, fuck you. I just said that because that's the one I'm playing at the moment, and I cannot be asked to traipse through games and games of it to collect footage. Alright? It's not happening. Maybe the Isu founded Apple. Steve Jobs is really the only surviving Isu. Well, he was. He's not anymore because my main man Steve Jobs is dead, 6 feet under. Rip Steve Jobs. Anyway, back to swordplay. Since we know that Game of Thrones came before Assassin's Creed because it came in the format of the books, and also, I like to think that everything that, was part of the Isu era, the beginning before mankind, alright? I like to think that Game of Thrones came before that, alright? Just adds a bit more context into what I'm thinking. And the reason that Assassin's Creed copied them for swords is because they came first. They made swords with little wolf handles and little curvy pointy ends on that stab people. And, of course, the people of Assassin's Creed just looked at it and went, hey, that's a pretty nice piece of pointy metal you have there. Mind if I take it? So essentially, case closed on the swords. Moving on. Next up is the huge amount of how do I put this in a way that will not get my channel removed. There's a lot of kids dying. All right, I'm just gonna put it out there. There's a lot of kids dying. All right. In these worlds, you know, kids are fucked. Alright, in the real world, you know, we have kids dying from starvation, thirst, killing themselves, being killed, drug overdose. Oh dear. But the one difference between that and Game of Thrones and Assassin's Creed, forget real world, in them games, the kids have to go through a lot of stabbing. Alright? There's too much. For example, in Assassin's Creed Origins, the game in which I will only get footage for that, Bayek, spoilers to anyone, the fucking dairy milkman himself just stabs his son. Like, what do you mean? And then for the rest of the game, he's going on this quest, this grand quest, to avenge the person who killed his son. You're just sat there after you learn this sort of along the way going, it's bad what they did, but really Bayek, you should just kill yourself because you did it. There's no one else who did it. It was you. You put the knife into your son's chest. While on the Game of Thrones side of things, you know, right, I'm just going to come out of it now. I'm not an expert, alright? You know, I've only watched half a season of Game of Thrones, but that makes me feel entitled, yes, good words, entitled enough to speak so freely of these things. And, you know, I've had a lot of spoilers because friends watch it and then they talk about it and stuff. But, you know, one kid dies in the womb, just doesn't even get to live. You know, they're having a nice wedding, everyone's dancing, celebrating, woman's just touching her stomach like, this baby's gonna be born, Tamara. And then the man just comes up and stabs her in the stomach more times than that can be counted. So, you know, there we go. Another thing Assassin's Creed has took. A lot of stabbing at kids, but just toned down a lot more. The third thing that Assassin's Creed has copied off Game of Thrones is having a flying animal. Yes, a flying fucking animal. That is iconic to the series. Of course, Game of Thrones has the iconic dragon. Well, it really has 3 dragons, but it has a dragon, alright, that you get to see flying around, burning people, a woman riding it, some other shit that you get to see them do. You know, you get to see 2 of them die. That's good. And Assassin's Creed just went eagle. We will have an eagle. Now, I love birds more than the next guy, but after playing many, many games of Assassin's Creed, you know, climbing up really tall buildings, syncing up with the map, and then hearing an eagle screech into my ear, you know, it gets to a point where you're like, alright, I'm used to this now. But, you know, Game of Thrones, we don't get something horrible screeching in your ear. No, you get to hear the orgasmic roar of a fire-breathing beast that you could probably find some weird stuff about on the internet. Honestly, you know, if anyone's risky enough, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Just keep your blind shut. Alright. Now, you may be sat there going,
oh, well, I'm a fanboy, I know everything about Game of Thrones, and I know everything about Assassin's Creed. There's no comparison between the bird and the dragon.
Alright, let me stop you there, Stephen. The reason they are similar is because they have one thing in common. Technically, they have 2 things in common. Number 10, they can fly. Number 2, they have wings. Case closed. You know, after recording about like 3 points, with the intention of this being a bit more of a basic video, so I can, you know, spend time with my friend playing a game that we've been waiting for a year, known as Borderlands 3. And I realised that this could possibly have more effort in to make than I normally do with my other videos. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, hi there. Guess where we are? We're up to the last part, the last comparison of Game of Thrones and Assassin's Creed. It's been lovely spending time with you. I hope we get more intimate moments like this. Bitch.
The final reason why I believe that Assassin's Creed has copied Game of Thrones, or at least Assassin's Creed Origins has, is the branding on armor. Yeah, bet you weren't expecting that. Alright? You'd think that the Assassins just have their logo. No. Alright? In Assassin's Creed Origins, in the Hidden Ones DLC, if you have a nice look at Bayek's armor, you will notice that in the crests there is a lion, and that is just fucking unacceptable. And you may be sat there wondering, why? Why is this unacceptable? Well, I'll tell you. Because the Starks use a wolf, alright? And I don't see any difference between a lion and a wolf. You may call me retarded for, for thinking this, but I have my reasons.
And they're very solid fucking reasons. I believe all of you should believe in.
Just like a retarded person who hasn't learned to walk yet, both lions and wolves walk on all fours. Except they have paws and, you know, retarded people have arms and legs. The other thing is that wolves and lions have a similar shaped body, and they both have tails. And not only that, they have fur. Luscious, glorious fur that I would happily skin off their backs and wrap around my body to keep me warm on a cold winter's night. If there's any lions or wolves watching this, better fucking run. So as we come to a close and I watch my Borderlands download go into the final stages of its download, I hope you have all walked away with something, with the knowledge that Assassin's Creed is copying off Game of Thrones, and that this isn't just some weird, stupid conspiracy that I am making up within my mind. Take that, Ronald Reagan. See you in the bathrooms next week. Then we'll see who's right about Game of Thrones and Assassin's Creed. If you dare pull your pants down again near a kid, there's going to be some shit going down.